The question is that the report of the Local Government and Environment Committee on the 2012-13 financial review of the Parliamentary Commissioner for the Environment be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, I understand that the next financial review that members wish to debate is the financial review of the Government Administration Committee on the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Chairman, I'd like to spend 5 minutes on this issue to inquire whether the Prime Minister is going to take his place in the chair or whether he's going to spend his time out consulting with people who don't believe that...
Order. Now, I think the member knows the rules about referring to the absence of a member.
No, I haven't referred to the absence.
No, you haven't, but it's just a wee caution, right?
Well, Mr Speaker, the question I was going to ask is whether the Prime Minister gives greater priority to consulting with people who believe that vapour trails are poisoning New Zealanders or that the man didn't land on the moon, or whether Parliament is his priority. That is the question that I want to ask. And because this is the debate where we talk about the cabinet-making process, where we talk about the revolving door, where we talk about the member who is currently out of cabinet, the Honourable John Banks, who's out because there's been a prima facie case established against him for fraud. Mr Speaker, that is the reason why the Prime Minister accepted the fraudulent member's resignation. Mr Speaker, this is the time we ask whether, as part of the ongoing matters to do with the formation of cabinets, whether he is going to go canvassing with John Banks in the backwoods of Georgia. The scene of deliverance, whether or not that's where John Banks is going to do his canvassing, or whether he's going to leave that area alone and just go to Utah and talk about polygamy. Mr Speaker, I want to know about the leadership of ACT and what is acceptable to the Prime Minister. Who is acceptable to the Prime Minister?
Point of order, Honourable John Banks.
I think it's appropriate right now, Mr Speaker, that you remind the Speaker, the Speaker on his feet, that this is a debate about the Prime Minister's expenditure, the Prime Minister's Department, Cabinet Office, the responsibilities of those, not Georgia, not something in Texas, not all the other crap that he's coming up with.
Order. I think the member's use of certain words was inappropriate at that point, and I'd caution him not to do that. I think there was a very clear instruction laid out to the House about where this debate should go, and I think the member needs to draw into the report of the Prime Minister. Examples are fine, but we need to keep bringing it into that.
I want to make it very...
Order. Point of order.
Mr Speaker, I have been in this Parliament for quite a long time. And when we come to these sorts of debates, particularly involving the Prime Minister, I don't recall ever seeing that the person that was in charge of the vote that we're talking about, and I cannot offend against standing orders, but I'll put it this way, being unable to respond to the debate. Right? Now, I've not said anything else than he's unable to respond to the debate. Now, it really is a serious diminution of this Parliament if somebody else can fill in.
Order. I'm not sure what the point of order is. Please sit. But it has also been the custom of the House to have other members filling the chair here on a regular basis, and I'm not sure what the point the member is making, but I don't see a point of order which is relevant to
Well,
this
Mr.
debate.
Speaker, with respect, I know that members fill in when ministers and others are not available, but when you're down the road having coffee, which has just been reported to me, that's something else.
Order. You're using point of order for purposes of debate. Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Well, Mr Speaker, the point that I was trying to make is that this Prime Minister will take anyone and he will get the advice that he wants in order to have any crook, anyone who believes in weird ideas, anyone who wants polygamy, bigamy, or a whole pile of other things to be part of his arrangement. Sir, it makes a shared ministry and a close ministry take on a whole new set of meanings when John Banks and others are involved. But, Mr Speaker, I want to focus in particular on the biggest scandal of the past 12 months in this area, and that is the reinstatement of the Honourable, and that word is only usable in this Parliament, the Honourable Peter Dunn to this Prime Minister's ministry. Let's just get the facts straight. Mr Dunn, for a very short period of time, until he woke up, claimed that to the media only, claimed that he did not make the draft Kitteridge report on the GCSB available to a Fairfax journalist. Mr Speaker, after about a day, Mr Dunn stopped making that claim. Mr Dunn would not tell the Prime Minister that he had not made that report available. The Prime Minister had discussions with him on at least 3 occasions, and he would not give the Prime Minister that assurance. Mr Speaker, on I think 5 occasions, Mr Dunn has been invited within standing orders to make it clear in this House that he did not make the draft Kitteridge report available to a Fairfax journalist. And on every single occasion, he has declined to do that. And so that's the right thing to do, because if he did the opposite, he'd be lying and he'd be before the Privileges Committee. So that is the right thing for him to do. But I just want to ask Chris Tremaine, how does he feel being fired as Minister of Internal Affairs, and replaced by someone who leaked a confidential document on the government's spy agency? A minister who at the time, refused to tell the Prime Minister he didn't do it because he couldn't lie to the Prime Minister. He didn't want to lie to the Prime Minister. He didn't want to lie to the House, and that is why the Honourable Peter Dunn did not make those denials. And I want to say to the Prime Minister, he's going to have to make a correction soon, because the Prime Minister on Wednesday that the House last sat stated in this House that Dunn had denied it. He hadn't.
The question is that the report of the Government Administration Committee on the 2012-13 financial review of the Department of Prime Minister and Cabinet be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, I understand that the next financial debate which members wish to participate in is the